So, this is my first ever YouTube video. It's like exciting, but it's definitely, I definitely feel like a sense of pressure from this. Anyways, I decided to do something random as my first video because it is the first video and that does mean random things. I'm gonna be doing a video about what's on my Switch Lite because I've seen videos like these on the internet and we can see like the fingerprints and stuff. That's annoying. The reason why I want to do this video is just because I can talk about games I think are worth talking about, especially games that are like underrated from like indie developers and things like that, because to me that matters a lot. And I've definitely been spending a lot of like the quarantine just gaming and things, so that's what I'll be talking about video games as my first video, which is exciting but weird. Let's just get on to the video. I'm gonna turn this thing on. It is a yellow Switch Lite. I don't have a regular Switch because I can't afford one. But we got a Switch Lite and that's good enough. So it actually has these things, these like thumb grips that I got from Amazon. They're really cute. They're like these green, I can't even see it. These green like little babies. They're like, I think the color name was like matcha green tea, and I don't know if you just search those up, you can probably get these really cute creatures. I don't know what they're supposed to be, bunnies, and I don't know, it's like a cat on, or like go onto Switch and show you the home screen. Here it is. There we go. I have Tom Nook as my profile icon. Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think again, I'm gonna spend too much time talking about it, but if you are like a cozy gamer, surprisingly Zelda is actually a really good game because there's also like cozy inns and things like that you can go to, and it is just a really fun game. It's relaxing while also being like an action adventure game that it is. And I finished the main story and currently doing like side quests and things, and I've probably spent, I'm gonna check how much I've spent on Zelda, like how much time I've spent. 160 hours. And then I have Fuser. I'm gonna spend a bit of time talking about Fuser just because a lot of people don't know about this game. So if you're like into music games or like games where you want to be a DJ, I think it's the only game where you can be a DJ, well, out of ones that I know. So essentially you mix different tracks and you're in this like festival and you mix these tracks with people, and it contains like a massive track list of songs, and it's definitely one that I like recommend if you are like into games like that, or you know, simulators like that. I think it's definitely more of a simulation than a game, but I definitely recommend it if you're into that stuff. Like, it's super fun, it's super colourful, especially because through a pandemic we've definitely lost a lot on things like music festivals, but it's definitely a good way of escaping into that world from your living room essentially. Animal Crossing New Horizons, I'm not going to talk too much about that game again because it's Animal Crossing. Everyone knows that it's a cozy game, you do absolutely nothing. You just, you know, pay debt to Tom Nook and whatever. Hades. Should I delve into Hades? Like, I think I will. So if you're into like roguelike games, then Hades is one that I definitely recommend. I think it's the only roguelike game I've actually ever played. And it's really interesting. I really like the story and I really like the characters, and the lore and stuff is really interesting, so that's just what I recommend about it. And then I have Bayonetta 2. It's like a hack and slash game. So again, I'm not going to talk too much about it just because I feel like they're kind of self-explanatory and they are really good games. I think all the games I've spoken about are really good games and ones that I recommend buying. I also have myself Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. I love Devil May Cry a lot. It's one of my favourite game franchises. And Devil May Cry 3, they have on Switch Devil May Cry 2 and Devil May Cry 3. They're the ones that they have. They don't have like the 4th one or the 5th one. But, or like the reboot thing that they did. So this one I have and I'm happy with it because I'm definitely enjoying it. This was like definitely a must play if you are into hack and slash games and action games in general. This is a PS2 game, so it is quite old, but it still looks insane. Coffee Talk. Okay, this is a game I really want to talk about. I think this is why there's like the drive as to why I've made this video in the first place. Coffee Talk is like a simulator where you are basically a barista in a coffee shop. You talk to people through like their problems and stuff, just like things like that, while making them coffee and things like different drinks like coffee. They have like a variety of different drinks like teas, coffee and stuff like that, and just make them those drinks while they're talking through your problems. And also not just that, there's like a connecting storyline between different characters like in the world, and basically they're like fantasy creatures like elves and vampires and other things like that, crazy things like that, and like werewolves, whatever. Basically they're just trying to get along, and it is a really good like relaxing simulator game that allows you to relax just being this barista and just dealing with people's problems. It's kind of relaxing, and I feel like coffee shops definitely that game that really just relaxed me. And it's just super chill, super vibey. It's a cozy game, which is something that I'm very into, as you can tell. Dark Souls Remastered is the next game on here, and I don't really play Dark Souls that much. I don't know. Okay, and then what's the next one? Again, I'm going to talk about this one a bit. It's essentially a game where you play as a detective and you basically just investigate things like crimes and murders and stuff, mostly murders. What's so interesting about this is that you end up interrogating them, so you have to like accuse them of lying and stuff. You have a notebook, you have to make case notes and things. It's definitely very interesting. Among Us is next, and I'm not going to delve too much into that because everyone knows that game. I'm just going to check like my all software in case there's anything else I want to highlight. So these are my most played games, and one that I'm on right now is Hellblade. Hellblade is a game where you play as Senua. She is a warrior, Celtic warrior, and she suffers from a thing called psychosis. If you don't know what psychosis is, essentially where you have people talking into your mind, basically, or like you have different voices in your head. It's actually quite common, more so than people think. She's trying to look for Lover Dillian, and she essentially just goes this entire adventure of fighting different like creatures and things. Outlast 2 is a horror game. If you really like horror games, I recommend Outlast 2. It's super scary. Some of these games are on like other consoles, not just Switch. Like for example, Outlast 2 is on PS4. Same with Hellblade. I love my Switch, and I just love gaming on it. But I do have like a PS5 and a PS4 as well. But just gaming on the Switch, I think it's just really cool because you can just play whenever you want on your bed or something. And I'm just a really huge sucker for handheld gaming because it's cute. Everything's here, and it's just what I like about it. In regards to other things on my Switch, I have like a 128GB micro SD card, which obviously allows me to have more games on here. Obviously solid thumb grips. I don't really know, there's nothing really to talk about my Switch. It's just a Switch Lite. Do I have plans to get another possible Switch, like a one that can be docked to the television, or like the Switch OLED, which is also coming out? Like maybe. It really depends on how these YouTube videos go, to be honest. So yeah. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye.